So, how are you today? Hope everything's going well. Our subject today for today's lesson is about 14 karat gold paint. Someone sent me a note and said, would you show me how I could use gold paint as an accent for fall arrangement? And I thought, really great suggestion. So that's awesome. I have a container that we're going to use. This is actually from Accent Decor. I love it because it has like a little washed gold, you know, like dripping gold down the sides. It's awfully pretty. And so we're going to use that as our accent. And then I use my 14 karat gold paint, which is on this side. There it is. Haha. So 14 karat gold from Design Master. They make lots of metallics, and those metallics are amazing because they allow us to do so many different things. And it's a great accent for us to put on foliage or put on flowers because we can. That's the great thing about Design Master is it's gentle enough to use on those flowers. And so with this, when we get it, we want to shake it. You hear that little ball that's inside there? That's super important because that ball is helping mix together everything that's inside the can. And so that little metal ball that goes inside there gets everything all swirled around inside the can. The other little trick I like to share too is so you can see on the can itself, okay? Like see right there how there's a black dot? Can you see that little black dot? Always make sure that the nozzle is facing the black dot, okay? Always make sure that that nozzle is facing the black dot because that's going to ensure that you get all of your paint out of your can. Really simple, right? Okay, and so when we do it, we should paint in a well-ventilated area. I know that when I paint on set at Fun with Flowers and Jay, many of you get worried because I don't wear a mask. We have a big exhaust fan that we use in that studio. Here, I'm in my house, so I'm not painting inside. I painted everything that I needed to paint outside today, and we're going to use it already dried and painted. So you'll have to paint when you're painting. The other thing I want to remind you to do is that when paint comes out of a can like this, it is freezing temperature, okay? The propellants inside make it a freezing temperature. So we want to stay back about 18 inches when we're doing that. 12 to 18 inches, good rule of thumb to stay back while you're painting. That way you won't freeze burn any of the flowers that you're working on. Obviously, if you're working with something that's not fresh or as a permanent type flower, you don't have to worry. But when you're working with the fresh products, remember to do that. I also like to go in sweeping strokes too. So like when I paint, I do sweeping strokes. And probably sometime we should do one of these of just about painting and show you exactly how we paint the product. But so what I did today was I wanted to use that as an accent on this. And so we've got our 14 karat gold paint that we've used. What I did was I sprayed it a little bit on these hydrangeas. These hydrangeas are outside. I picked them just this morning and they had a little bit of burn, you know, because it's that time of year. That's what's happening out there, you know, a little bit of frost, a little bit of, you know, sunshine, wet, you know, temperatures, things like that. It's going to cause a little bit of a burn. So I just applied a little bit of that gold to that. And I think it's wonderful. It's going to look really good. So we're going to use some Pompous Grass in this. We're also going to use some Monstera leaves. I painted Monstera leaves like this. And so I wanted to show you just a couple of different things I did with these. Painted them. Okay. Those look great. I painted one on the back and I did not paint the other on the back. You can do whatever you want. Okay. That's just another great thing. Again, this is for ideas, for your creativity, to help you have a little bit more fun when you're arranging your flowers. And that's what I want you to do. You do not have to make exactly what I make. Okay? Let's be clear about that. I'm not going to put up a recipe or anything because I want you to see the concept of spray painting materials. Maybe you don't want to use 14 karat gold. Maybe you want to use super silver. Maybe you want to use rose gold. Maybe you want to use 24 karat gold. You can choose whatever you'd like. And you can get this at local craft stores, okay? This is available at local craft stores, also available at wholesale floral supplies. So if you have access to that, or you could even go into a professional florist and have them pick up a can for you, and then you could pick it up there too. So 3 great avenues for you to do it. Craft store, wholesale florist, or your professional florist. Great resources for finding the things that you want. Inside my vase today, I have ice cold water. I've already added my chrysophoral nutrient to it so that that's going to work. We're going to arrange it on this little stand here so that we can spin it around when we're working with that. We're going to use also some Pompous Grass. We're going to use some Astilbe in there. I'm going to throw in, I think, a few yellow zinnias maybe because they're awfully pretty right now. And then I have one more surprise that we're going to add to it too. Okay, so let me grab that real quick so that you can see it. This is the exciting new autumn ColorFresh in metallics from Ferntrust. And you can see they are American grown, right? It's American grown foliage. This is actually Victoria leather leaf, which you may be familiar with regular leather leaf and how it has kind of a smooth edge. This has a very lacy edge on the end of it. And then what they've done is they've taken it and they've painted it different colors. That's a patented process, and they've used a copper, they've got a bronze in here, and they've got a gold gilding in here. And I think it's just beautiful, and it's gonna set off this bouquet so wonderfully. We're gonna use it for a couple projects. So you'll tune in, there's gonna be another project I'm gonna use this for, but I wanted you to see it today because I think it's just lovely, and it's a really great way. The other cool thing about this is it's going to make the leather leaf last longer. Okay, that ColorFresh technique that they use, they already have the Dewy Fresh process that they use, and that is a special sealant that they put on their foliages, keeps them shiny and fresh from the inside, which is super amazing, right? And so, but with this, then they add the ColorFresh coloration on the top. I have been there, okay? You know me, I'm a spokesperson for them, right? I have been there and they said, we are sorry, you cannot see how we do this. It's a secret. So it is a patented process. It is done in secret. So it's something that only they do. And I think that that's pretty amazing too. So that's what I love about them. So we'll be using this today. Comes in this wonderful little bunch, and I love that it's rubber banded together. But just look at those colors. Look at how fun that's going to be. I mean, just look at the regular Victoria leather leaf that has just the gold gilding on it. It looks almost like my container. I mean, that's perfect, right? And so, you know what? We'll start with that. So again, as always, I've got to stand up to do this because I don't want to sit down and design for you. I always do better when I stand up. So we will do that. All right, we'll get my chair out of the way. And then we shall dig in. All right, so we have our base. I am actually going to start with the Victoria's lace that has the gilding process on it with ColorFresh. And what I'm going to do is, as we typically do with our arrangements, I'm going to create a structure inside the vase. And so what that means is I've taken 3 pieces and I've crisscrossed them. All right, making sure that none of my leaves fall below the water line. And I have one more extra piece here, and I'm just going to tuck it in the middle. Okay, so now I have a dense structure right inside here that's going to hold my other flowers in place. If I didn't have this structure, things would be flipping and flopping and going this way and that way. And so I don't want that to happen. So next we're going to add our beautiful little hydrangea that I've added a little bit of that gold texturing to. I'm going to cut it shorter. I'm going to go into my structure with it. And you're going to notice that where I place it is where it stays. It stays where I placed it because of the structure that I created inside the vase with my Victoria's Lace Autumn ColorFresh. Okay, so those guys all go together, right? It's easy. Then let's use, I'm going to use the next thing I'm going to use is a little bit of my Astilbe. Now, this is just Astilbe pods off of the white Astilbe that I have outside. So growing in the garden right now, looks really beautiful. And again, you know, this is kind of cool because it almost looks like it has a gold look to it, but I haven't done anything to it. And so I'm just going to stick those in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them on one side. Okay, I'm going to put them all in here on this side over here. All right, so they're all kind of sitting in there like that. See that? And look at it. It almost looks like it has a gold color. I mean, I certainly could spray it with my 14 karat gold from Design Master, but there's no real need to because, again, having different tonalities in our bouquet is going to be super important for us, okay? That's a really wonderful way for us to create extra bits and pieces that go along with this. Next, we're going to use some Pompous Grass. We used some Pompous Grass the other day in an arrangement that I had. But what I did was I gave this a little shot of that gold. It's got a little bit of that gold hint. See it on there? And that's really beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to cut it there. And I'm going to take those leaves and I'm just going to stick it in here. Okay? I'm going to do it again. With the other one, I'm going to cut this one just a little bit shorter. Not really. Now I'll cut it shorter. Okay, there we go. Now it's shorter. Because I don't want them to be the exact same height, right? Okay. So now they're in there like that. Isn't that fun? It's already starting to be, I mean, you know, for those of you who don't like fall coloration, I guess, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people who love gold, silvers, things like that, those types of colors. And I think if you love those, it's a really great way for you to use those colors to decorate. This could be great for Thanksgiving or something like that too. It would be really wonderful. In my wonderful little zinnias I got this week, look at these. They're like a pale, pale yellow. Isn't that pretty? And so we're going to group those inside here too. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab those. Now, again, this is the reason that I don't make recipes, because this was color-based. It was based on availability this week. When my friend Craig bought these zinnias, he had these wonderful yellow ones. If I put that you had to have 4 pale yellow zinnias to create this bouquet, you would look all over for those, all right? But you could use 4 beautiful yellow chrysanthemums. You could use 4 roses. You could use 4 carnations. You could use 4 marigolds. You've got lots of different opportunities to use lots of different flowers. Now, I just wanted to show you. Here's a dark yellow one, okay? And look at how different that looks from those. Now, I'm just looking in my little bucket here. I think I have 2 dark yellow ones. I have 2 dark yellow ones. So again, here's where we talk about that, you know, the no recipe, because I'm going to take those other 2 and I'm going to put them on this side. Okay. Because I think that's going to be real pretty. So having those different colors on different sides. Now look at, there was still one bud coming on. So I'm just going to stick that guy in here. Right there. Okay. So now, here's where we have color choices. You know, when people ask me about my color choices all the time, because this is kind of the focal area of our arrangement right here, because we've got our beautiful little zinnias going on right here. We've got these beautiful astilbe up there. And so I'm going to bring in a big monstera leaf. Okay. Now this monstera leaf, it's grown by Ferntrust. Brendan is one of the youngest members of the Ferntrust clan, and he grows monstera leaves. And we are going to tuck that monstera leaf in there. And notice how I'm putting the other stuff over the top. Okay? So now we got that pretty little monstera in there. And then I'm going to turn it around because I'm going to do another one back here on the other side. Okay? But Brendan grows this glorious monstera. And I want to get down there one of these days after all this mess is over and see Brendan's fields of monstera. Okay, so now we have, that's the back right there, front, side, around. Okay, so now you're going to notice between those 2 monstera leaves, I have a little bit of area that needs something, right? That's where I'm going to bring in the bronze. Okay, and it's like a bronze, copper, gold. And what this is going to do is, right now, our bouquet has all one tonality. But adding these to it is going to bring in something different. Now, you know, a lot of times people, and look at, so those are those 2 copper ones. Isn't that pretty? And then this is more of a bronzy, right? And so with that bronze, I did something right here. Okay, look at this. I cut there, and so now I have 2 pieces. All right? So this piece, I can tuck up here a little bit taller. It's just like 1 or 2 leaves, and it adds that different color right in there. And then this one, I'm thinking needs to go right here. And he's going to go on top of our little monstera leaf. Now, again, I want you to relax when you're doing this. I want you to calm down, chill out. See, I want this guy to be up here just a little bit more. And this is where I adjust stuff sometimes, okay? And that's okay to adjust those because I want this piece to go right in there. Now, obviously, these are our little live demos that we do online. I don't have the resolution that I normally would have, but these are to give you some ideas and some quick, fun things that you could do, little crafts that you might want to try out for the holidays. It is not our big produced. There is no makeup artist. There is no microphone guy, sound guy. There are not 3 or 4 cameras, which we always use. This is just you and me making this little fun arrangement together, okay? Now, when I'm looking at this right here, I'm thinking, I need just another zinnia or 2. All right. And I'm going to show you this spot right back here. See that spot? Right there. That's where I need them. And these 2 are going to be wonderful. These are a pale, pale green. Green's really difficult for us to see on camera many times. So you're going to have to trust me that this is a pale green. And it's going to go right there. Come on. See, this is the fun part about it. This is what I love the best about flower arranging is you got to try and get those things in the exact spot that you want it. And now this one needs to go there. All right. Ta-da! So now, how fun is that? It's just a beautiful little. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little. See this? I wish that was up like that. Don't you think that that's true? That should be up like that? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a stem, okay? And I've bent my stem like that, okay? And then what I'm going to do with my bent stem is I'm going to go right up under there. I'm going to go into my vase. See how fun that is? Right, it makes him stand up a little bit. So now, we've got it all done. Isn't that fun? It's a pretty little arrangement. And when you're looking at these later on and you're looking at the flowers and you decide I want to move that one around, you can. Nothing says you can't move it once you've made it. The other thing I love about this is when you think about it and you want to maybe give it as a gift to your neighbor or something like that, or take it to a party or something, the fact that you made it is super special. And when we do that, people are excited. They're like, hey, I made this for you. Isn't that fun? So, right. So, yeah, look at that. So we've got our zinnias. We've got our monstera leaf. We've got that look at that beautiful foliage, that autumn foliage. I just love the way it shimmers. A couple candles sitting around this and the light reflecting off it. It's romantic, right? I think that's fun. So we've got this. So, okay, we started with our arrangement. We used a little bit of our 14-karat gold paint from Design Master, and we enhanced our monstera leaves, our Pompous Grass, and did a little hint of shadow on our hydrangeas. Then we used the Autumn ColorFresh from Ferntrust, the Victoria leather that was gilded in gold. It had a copper and we had a bronze. And we utilized those along with our zinnias. We used light green zinnias, we used light yellow zinnias, and we used dark yellow zinnias. And we put them all into our vase together. To get our little monstera leaf to stand up, we added that little stick underneath there to make it stand up so that it would be pushed up a little bit so that it wouldn't lay down so flat. And now we've got a beautiful arrangement. Now what's going to happen, and I promise you this, is the zinnias aren't going to last. After about 10 days, they're going to be gone. But the rest of this stuff is going to be drying and be beautiful still, and we can tuck a few more flowers in. So this is another great way for us to have some beautiful flowers for the holiday. I love fall. I'm crazy, but it's my favorite season. I just love the way everything changes. It's so fun outside. And I just love that. It's getting cooler temperatures. We've had a wonderful summer. The one thing about this staying home is that it's given us time. It's been the gift of time. And when we have the gift of time, we can create beautiful things and we can learn about new things. So there's always a silver lining. Sometimes when it looks the darkest, there's a silver lining. And the silver lining is the gift of time for us to spend time together and enjoy flowers. So until next time, keep having fun with flowers.